Hi there, everybody. This is Carrie Hamblen, the CEO and president of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, continuing our ongoing series this month as we celebrate Southern New Mexico Giving Day, which is coming up this Friday, the 25th of April. And what we are doing is we are highlighting all of the nonprofits that are members of the Green Chamber who are participating in Southern New Mexico Giving Day. And you've seen a whole bunch up to this point, but we've got one, and I want to give you a little special insight. It's the conversation with the Conservation Corps New Mexico. Now say that 5 times really fast, that started this whole process last year, and why we're expanding this series this year to over 20 nonprofit members of the Green Chamber. So Anthony Thomas, who is the CEO of the Conservation Corps New Mexico, he's also the chair of the board of directors for the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce. Tony, it's good to see you. I see your face all the time, but I still love seeing your face today as we're talking about Conservation Corps. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Carrie, and I'll have to correct you. I am the executive director
Ooh.
of Conservation Corps, New Mexico. But thank you kindly for that elevated
Yeah, that
promotion to
promotion.
CEO.
Yeah. Yeah. Let your folks know. I'll write him a little special letter saying, hey, he needs to be promoted to CEO. And they'll love that. I'm sure they'll love that. So the executive director of Conservation Corps. And so, Tony, we were just talking before we even started recording that not a lot of people know about what Conservation Corps New Mexico does, but there are conservation corps all over the country. So can you kind of give up a background on Conservation Corps New Mexico and just the whole, like, because you're part of a bigger unit throughout the state. So can you kind of give everybody a background on that?
Sure. The Conservation Corps, New Mexico is the only Conservation Corps organization that services Southern New Mexico with the capacity to provide expertise in a variety of skill sets related to preserving public lands. And yes, we are part of Conservation Legacy, which is our parents' nonprofit organization that oversees 8 other Conservation Corps programs throughout the United States. We are a workforce development organization that provides young adults with technical skills and soft skills that will set them up for success through outdoor project work. This includes building trails for hiking, backpacking, biking, and other uses. We also provide expertise in watershed restoration, invasive plant species, native plant preservation, ecological monitoring, and wildland fire mitigation. We also do historic site preservation work. And we are able to do this work by recruiting young adults between the ages of 18 to 26 and military veterans up to the age of 35 without an age waiver. So the oldest person that I've recruited into our program was actually 39 years old. The majority of the young people we recruit into our program are from New Mexico, and quite a lot of them are from Las Cruces. So they are connected to the community, history, and culture of New Mexico. And then lastly, I'll say we have 2 distinct programs: a crew program that does trail maintenance and backcountry work in all of the national forests and national parks in southern New Mexico, and they do a whole lot more than just that. We have a individual placement program that's like an internship program that recruits young adults who often are college students or college graduates and places them in offices of our federal partners, such as agencies like the Bureau of Land Management, Fish and Wildlife Services, et cetera, for them to gain experience in their discipline of their degree or field of study, which often leads to full-time employment with those agencies on Department of Agriculture, Department of Interior, and we actively build relationships. We are actively building a relationship with the New Mexico state agencies, like the New Mexico State Land Office, for example, to expand opportunities.
That's fantastic because it is, we often don't think of that, when you're doing trail maintenance and campsite restoration and all that stuff, that it's really, it is workforce development because you're bringing in folks who maybe don't have a whole lot of experience, or like when you're talking about veterans, don't necessarily have civilian connections outside of serving in the military. And so it's really kind of hard to get your foot in the door. And that's really what you're doing, is allowing people to get in the door, to get some really important and valuable experience in the workforce. And in this particular case, outside, in the outdoors, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what attracts a lot of young people to our program. Because, folks that may not be interested in working in an office, being New Mexico, the land of enchantment. Well, why is it called the land of enchantment? Why is the state dubbed that? Well, because there's a lot of beautiful landscapes a lot of wonderful areas where, you can work outside and enjoy, the beautiful nature, the beautiful landscapes that nature provides us. So that is an attraction. We not only just get folks from New Mexico, but we do attract some folks from other states, other parts of the country that are interested in coming out west to get a new experience and to understand, how life is like in another part of the country. So yeah, I'm very grateful to also share that experience with seeing young folks, develop professionally as well as personally, right?
Mhm.
Because we have folks that come from all walks of life, all economic backgrounds per se, and also they have their uh, special skill sets that they may have obtained from other jobs that they've had before coming to us that they put into use in our program. So, it's I would say that Conservation Corps, it's an excellent program, no matter if it's here in New Mexico, other places, for folks to, be welcomed, apply their skill sets, enjoy themselves while working hard, and then also creating a network that will help them, into the future as far as whatever area of work or specialty they want to get into, if it's related to natural resource management professions.
Well, so I'm thinking, what have been like some local projects, just like brief description of some local projects that you all have had a hand in doing that I don't know if a lot of people would understand your connection to it, but what have been some of those?
So we have projects again throughout the southern part of New Mexico. So we have project work the Gila National Forest. One in particular is the Black Fire restoration
Mm,
project that's going on. Yeah, the Black Range part of the Gila National Forest. So yeah, it was a huge wildland fire back in 2013. There's still recovery efforts. A huge burn scar that still remains. So the U.S. Forest Service, as well as the National Forest Service, who's providing funding for that project, looks to Conservation Corps organizations to help with those type of efforts. Also, recently, we did disaster relief operations in Roswell, New Mexico,
mm,
to help homeowners uh, that were suffering from, homeowners who weren't able to live in their homes because it was just infested with black mold. And you can't really live black mold. I mean, it's a health hazard, right? So yeah, we had sent two crews to Roswell to help, clean out a lot of that and treat the black mold, get rid of the spores and stuff like that.
mhm.
And the homeowners were really grateful. I,
Oh
I
gosh,
actually went
yeah.
up there. Yeah, I actually went up there to visit the crews, monitor their operations, talk to some of the homeowners. So we were in the community, like in an urban environment, and seeing like the devastation that a flood. There was a flood in Roswell in 2022. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, in 2024 there was a flood in Roswell. So just think about that. These folks are had to live either outside their homes for several months, right? While there were no other services to help them that was available. Conservation Corps, again, are an organization that provides, that is an asset to the community
Yeah.
as well as the state.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so grateful for that because it's, especially in communities when, especially with fires, I mean, just the burn scar alone um, is also dangerous if there's heavy rain, which we saw in Ruidoso. So, as we finish up today, Anthony, given the work that you're doing that is really kind of unrecognized, but so important, how, when folks give to Conservation Corps New Mexico through Southern New Mexico Giving Day, how does that help you continue the work that you and your crew are doing in the state?
Yeah, so a lot of our project work requires us to have gear, equipment, etc. Right? So funding will help support maintaining our gear and our equipment and camping supplies that we provide free to our members, so they don't have to come out of pocket and pay for those things, right? But we have to have the tools again to make sure that our equipment and our gear are in tip-top shape to send our crews out to do the work that they do. The vast majority of our projects again are remote areas, backcountry areas in the national parks. Also, again, with the fire, Lincoln National Park in Roswell. So that's where your funding will go to support our operations. Yeah, we will be very thankful to the community and the Community Foundation of Southern Mexico for all your support.
That's fantastic. If you're interested in supporting the Conservation Corps of New Mexico in the work that they're doing in terms of trail restoration and all of the stuff that's outdoors, you can go ahead and find their link either above or below as they're part of Southern New Mexico Giving Day. Pre-giving is going on right now, but the day of giving extravaganza is actually going to be this Friday, the 25th. And you'll be able to see the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, the Community Foundation of Southern New Mexico, and United Way of Southwest New Mexico. We'll be just having a whole lot of events at the Community Foundation offices on El Paseo and the university to be able to celebrate that. So look above or below if you want to go ahead and help them. We appreciate it greatly. And Anthony, I appreciate you in so many different ways, and so grateful for you and all of your crew and for doing the work that you're doing throughout the state. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Carrie.
All right. Have a great day.
All right. You too.